Gonna go through industry leader UIs and it's gonna essentially apply it into your own UI. We built this because we believe that we spend a lot of time building a backend and we should show that the front end should reflect it essentially. Next one. Next one more time, sorry.
Developers are not designers, so building something that works is really different compared to something that looks nice and feels great. But in order to create those great user experience and user interface, it requires a lot of time and a lot of iteration. And on top of that, it requires a deep understanding on human behaviors. And that's why a lot of websites does create websites functional, but might not feel right for the user.
Next, please.
So look at the biggest names in the game like Stripe, Figma, Notion. They all have one thing in common. And what is that? One thing is design is intentional. It is not random, right? This is because these great products, they all follow consistent patterns of typography, spacing, layout, and visual hierarchy. Users don't want to learn a new interface, but they want to recognize one. This is why we design with familiarity in mind. Adoption can feel seamless.
Next, please. Next, please, one more time. Thank you. Our software doesn't work if tinyfish does not exist. How we use fish is essentially we're going to deploy 50 autonomous browse agents and they're going to industry leader UI and find common design patterns that they're going to go through depending on the industry. It's going to also look at spacing, it's going to look at colors, and it's going to essentially it's going to return a JSON format that we're then going to, and I'm going to explain our pipeline later. Next, please. So how our system is you're essentially now put your GitHub repo in our website, just like you would do with Virtual or Railway. After that, we're going to deploy using tinyfish, the 50 AI as in agents, and they're going to go and see what I mentioned to you. It's going to output the JSON format, and then it's going to give it to Claude to, after that, apply the changes in the person's code base. Once that is done, you're going to see a view, which is going to be a before and after. Then the user is allowed to accept, reject, or modify the changes that we recommended. We'll show you how it goes later in our demo video. We also made some accessibility features, which I'll show as well, which is using voice text a voice text feature, which uses 11 labs. Next, please. Again. One more time. Yeah. If not, skip to the other one. Yeah, here, this one. So this is the home page. What we're going to do, we're going to connect to your GitHub. We're going to do a small preview of the before and after, and then we're going to go through it and do an actual demo together. So now we get started. First thing that they're going to ask you is to connect GitHub repo. Go on, get Meta's repo and put it on. Do is ask you a series. Next thing we're going to do is ask you a series of questions regarding your software, because we want to figure out what industry are you actually building for. Because we're not going to go and give you a restaurant website if you're building the next ChatGPT. And essentially what's going to happen is there's also going to be a JSON that we're going to feed to Claude AI, and it's going to basically make a profile for this program. I typed kind of slow, sorry. Yeah. So now over here for this demo, we made a simple 5 plots that we're going to use, and this is one of the stuff we're going to hyperlink. Linear is one of the inspirations we're going to use to apply the change. So you're going to view the transformation, it's going to actually apply the UI transformation in the code base. And there you can see the before and after. So if you can see the difference, it applies similar to what Linear did, and it's going to also give you what it actually did, because you don't want to trust AI blindly. You want to be able to read what it did and accept whether it wrong or not. And you can see there's going to be a toolbox right over there to apply changes, can reject the change, or you can actually modify the change as well. And to modify the change, you can either do it with text, voice AI, like I told you, using Level Labs, or coding it. Once you press on apply, it's actually going to commit it to GitHub. So apply changes, and you can see on the bottom left, it's in the source control. Now you can go on GitHub, or you can go on our repo, and you can see the last commit was there. So it pushes towards the GitHub integration.
So to build off of what was just said right now, on the next page here is the UX lab, where basically it gives a side-by-side comparison of the before and after changes. This is essentially an annotation notebook where it tells you the elements that will change, the elements that that were based on UX principles and theory. And this is the friction index, which is a score that we score based on how a user needs to draw attention away from the main task of the page. Then we have the UX score, which is just a composite score that gives an overall score for the UX
Perfect. So now if we can go, there's still a couple of slides left, if you don't mind. 2 more slides, we're not going to bore you.
We're just gonna wait for the slide.
So we're going to skip the slides. Yeah. So we believe that there's a big place in the market for UX deployment. And if you have a good UX, you're going to keep retention for users. You're going to also have more market retention.
Next page, please.
Next.
So developers nowadays are shipping code faster than ever, right? With modern day technologies like Vercel and Railway, code is being shipped really fast. But the thing is, fast code doesn't necessarily mean that the product it feels good either, right? So that is being created within all these projects, and we want to be able to close that gap. Modern day apps all have a deployable layer, but we also believe that all modern apps should also have a UX optimization layer, and we, Reform, want to be the first ones to do it. So once your app is deployed, now let's go ahead and deploy that experience.
Hi, Tess. Great idea, interesting idea. Did you design the Reform website homepage with Reform?
No, so to actually build the software, we used Cloud Code to make it. We optimized it with Cloud Code. We didn't do Reform because it took 6 hours and we only got it working last hour.
Your solution relative to having an agent with front-end skills, interactive playwright, how's it compare? Right now, the paradigm is an agent with skills, to do playwright, to browser use, how's it compare to what you're doing?
Well, if I understood the question, the difference between what you essentially explained and Reform is that we're going to go through 50 industry-leading UIs at the same time, at the same amount of time. If you want to do that yourself, 50 different UIs, it will take a lot of time. So just as deploying your front end on Vercel is instant, we also want to make this almost as instant.
What do you source?
From tinyfish. No. From tinyfish. We're using tinyfish and yeah.
This is how you run the pipeline, right?
Yeah.
So like where do you source the guideline for your design and all that?
I don't understand.
Like where do you have to source it?
Right? Yeah. I don't know. This was something that was involved with the Cloud Code, so I didn't really understand that. Yeah, sorry. So thank you.